Hello, welcome to the ALCTS webinar, Improve Discoverability of Non-Roman Materials. I'm Matt Montgomery from the College of San Mateo. I'm a member of the ALCTS Continuing Education Committee, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Our presenter today is Magda el-Sherbini. Magda is the Middle East and Islamic Studies librarian at the Ohio State University Library. Prior to this, she was the head of cataloging. She is the author of RDA, Strategies for Implementation, and is also an adjunct professor at the School of Library and Information Sciences at Kent State University. She regularly teaches online courses on RDA for ALA. There are a few things to keep in mind for today's presentation. All attendees are muted. If you have questions for Magda, please type them into the question box on your screen, and she will answer them at the end of the presentation. Our software does not have interactive chat capabilities. You may use the ALCTS hashtag if you wish to use Twitter to comment on today's webinar. The hashtag is ALCTSCE. We do not monitor the Twitter feed, so please use the question box to submit questions and comments. This webinar is being recorded, and you will receive an email with links to the recording and the presentation slides. And now here's Magda. There will be a slight delay as we change presenters.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be able to share with you a project that I was doing at the Ohio State University to improve discoverability of non-Roman materials. This is me, and this is my contact information. In my presentation, I will start with background and describe how the project developed over time. Then I will say a few words about the opportunities that came my way that helped me in developing the project. Finally, I will describe the project itself and offer some remarks about the next steps. So let's talk a little bit about background. There are numerous studies that were conducted to address the issues of using LCSH as subject tools for assigning subject headings for non-Roman materials. These include the structure of LCSH itself, and I just have in the screen in front of you about 4 studies. Please take a look at them, and all of them address some of those issues of LCSH. At time, the term used in LCSH are not equivalent in meanings to those in other languages. For example, there are several ways of reciting the Quran in Arabic. And as you see in the authority record, the LCSH authority record is all added under or recorded under Quran subfield X readings. However, there are 7 ways of reciting Quran, and user wanted to have a specific to each of this reading when they search the catalog. Another example is the Islamic prayer. You have here dua. Dua is basically a personal supplication in Islam. It is informal type of prayers. It's very different than the prayer subfield X Islam or Salah, where it is exactly formal type of prayer, like when you go to church to pray. But dua, you can you just pray at any time, anywhere. So this is very big difference. So the dua, the word dua is not represented in LCSH. Another terms here, you have transplantation of organs, tissues, etc. in Islamic law. This term does not have equivalent in Arabic language. So transferring organ is the one that's mostly used, which means naql al-a'da. And I would like to give you just like a little to excuse myself that I am saying example in Arabic because this is what I know. But there are similar issues like this in other languages like Chinese and Japanese and Korean. But most of my example will be related to Arabic just to illustrate the idea. So providing simultaneous access to multi-script subject heading has been recognized as an issue to be solved by the ALCTS Task Force on Non-English Access Committee, and it goes back as far as 2007. I began to study this topic in 2010 after being appointed to serve as the chair of the ALCTS Steering Committee to oversee the implementation of the recommendation contained in the report of the ALCTS Task Force on Non-English Access, which was published in 2007, 2009, and you have the link here to the final reports. The report basically included 11 recommendations. The steering committee was successful in implementing 10 of these recommendations. But recommendation number 11, which is assign the ALCTS Subject Analysis Committee, which is SAC at that time, working with appropriate library organizations to study the needs of library users for multilingual subject access in the appropriate scripts, and to propose steps to address those needs. This recommendation was not implemented, and the ALCTS Steering Committee basically explained the reasons for not implementing this recommendation in these terms. This recommendation was extremely vague, and it is broad in nature, a research project that might never be completed, and it is outside SAC's scope. SAC basically does not do research on end users or their needs. And finally, more research needed in this area. It became evidence that research in this area is indeed needed in order to collect data and evaluate the need for providing multilingual subject access to non-Roman materials. So I teamed with one of my colleagues here at Ohio State and conducted a survey to assess the need to providing non-Roman subject access to library catalog. In this survey, we made a great attempt to assess the need to providing non-Roman subject access to the library online catalog. The key findings of this survey indicated that end users were not completely dissatisfied with the current library catalog, which is really good news. End users and librarians wanted a system that is more open to multilingual subject headings, and also highlighted area of opportunity for library to make significant improvements to the catalog. I also received the grant to study the Bibliotheca Alexandrina multilingual subject headings the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, I will refer it to BA. So the BA provide access to their library collections in 3 languages, Arabic, English, and French. So linking subject data allows the users to navigate from one language to another and to link the subjects in multilingual collection. So the BA is using mark field 750 in the authority record, so they can link subject heading in Arabic English, and French. During cataloging, the BA catalogers use English, Arabic, and French subject lists to assign subject headings for materials in these languages. If the book is in Arabic, the subject heading is selected from the Arabic subject heading list. And if it is in English, the subject heading will be selected from Library of Congress subject heading. For French language, the Rameau subject list will be used to select subject heading. Each subject will be displaying titles under its respective language. So how this works? So the authority processing staff are responsible for linking the subject heading equivalents. This step is performed after the bibliographic record is created. During the creation of new subject authority record, the authority processing staff will search the online catalog by the equivalent subjects to locate records in another language that might be under this equivalent subject. If an equivalent subject is found, the authority staff will retrieve the authority records for each subject heading in its own respective language and add links to the equivalent in mark field 750, second indicator 7. In this example, the authority record database management was retrieved and updated to add the equivalent subject heading in Arabic and in French. And as you see, they use 750, second indicator 7. The Arabic authority record will retrieve and the English and French, and they will add it to the Arabic record. You have here, this is the Arabic authority record, and they retrieved it, and they add the English subject term and also the French subject terms. Next, the French authority record will be also retrieved to add the English and the Arabic term as well. So the result is provide user with the ability to search materials by subject in 3 languages and different scripts. And this example shows you how that works. So if the search is conducted by the English subject, the authority record will point out to French and Arabic. If the search is done using Arabic subject, the search result will show the equivalent subject in French and English. So this way you will know it looks like a cross-reference, but it's cross-reference not from one form to another, but from one script to another. So some remark here on BA processing. It's basically extensive work has to be done to manually map concept from different knowledge organization system, which is LCSH, Rameau, and Arabic subject heading, which sometimes is a tedious and expensive process. Mapping depends on catalogers' understanding of the concept in these 3 languages. Sometimes the concept can be used to mean something else in different language. And I give you example about a star. A star can mean like a star in the sky, or maybe a star like an actor. So this all depend on how to interpret and how to find what the word means in different culture. So let's move on to OSU Multilingual Subject Heading Project, and I'm going to talk about objectives of this project, limitation, and some opportunities. So the objectives was, I would like to have the ability for users to search the library catalog by subject terms in their preferred language, e.g., Arabic, Chinese, Japanese. So no more need to translate or transliterate. And I also would like to share with the worldwide, so we can do the work one time and use it many times. And I also would like to have link to external resources so we can expand user ability to see what other library has. And it's not only to see and link, it's also to see different kind or different language of materials. So the BA experience basically gave me a very good understanding of database structures and its possibilities and limitations. So I spent a great deal of time analyzing and studying our system and try to identify what the obstacles to achieve these objectives and what could be possible. So I learned that definitely I cannot change the library online catalog structure. I cannot have a new ILS, for example. And I cannot change the workflow that between OCLC, OCU, and OhioLink. This is impossible to do that. I also recognize that I can do the linking through the LC. I cannot do the linking through the LC subject authority file as it is not permitted at right now. I also acknowledge that the structure of LCSH and other international sources might not be compatible. But where are the opportunities? Well, we do have opportunities. So the first opportunity is RDA and resource discovery. RDA was written with internationalization in mind. RDA promotes internationalization because it accommodates languages, scripts, numerals, and dates other than those in English. It facilitates the exchange of data between different language communities. So you see here, that's example from one of the authority file, names authority files, and you can see that lots of different script. You have here Arabic and Hebrew, and even within the Arabic you have different form. And actually I cut on this for XX because it is very long list. So just to illustrate that you started to see all of these different language in the catalog. Here is another example for Korean name, and you can see the one XX is the form of the name that we established, and then the alternatives in Korean. Alternative linguistic form of name of for places is started to show in the authority file. You have here again the established form and other form in different scripts. The other opportunity that I have is OCLC FAST, and FAST stands for Faceted Application of Subject Terminology. Although LCSH is the most commonly used subject vocabulary in most libraries, its complex structure makes searching by subject difficult. This obstacle led to the creation of new subject schema. The faceted application of subject terminology, which is FAST, is derived from LCSH, but applies a similar syntax while retaining richness of LCSH vocabulary. FAST was developed by a team of researchers at OCLC in conjunction with team from Library of Congress. In 1998, the OCLC Office of Research built software to automatically process and convert the LCSH authority file and LCSH present in the WordCat bibliographic records to FAST subject terms. The main idea was to have OCLC deconstruct the LCSH into discrete headings, each containing one facet. As a result of this initiative, most of the records in OCLC include fast subject term parallel to LCSH. Fast terms are found in mark 6XX, second indicator 7, with subfield 2 to specify the source which is fast. So where is my opportunity here? My opportunity is the possibility of linking fast terms to terms in different language is getting greater than linking to LCSH. However, there are some differences between fast and non-Roman terms due to differences in non-Roman language structure. So we have to recognize that fast is not going to solve all the issues, but maybe in the future it can, maybe it can. So here is example of fast record. As you see here, you have the LCSH subject headings were assigned as usual, but you can see the extension of fast, how they deconstructed the LCSH to all of these terms. So you can see here subfield 7, the same mark tag, we're using the same as LCSH, but second indicator 7 is different than subfield zeros. So, and then you see here subfield 2 to specify what source in here, which is fast source. So let's go back to my objective of this study. So I had these two opportunities. I have RDA allowed me to do something different, and also fast provide me with greater opportunity because it doesn't have the structure of LCSH, so I cannot do linking field with LCSH, but I can do it with fast. So now, can I provide ability to search the catalog by subject term in the preferred language, e.g. Arabic, Chinese, Japanese? So let's see what we did here. So I have a pilot project, and the pilot project started in February 2015. And there are some work we had to do. So we have to do minor configurations to the local online catalog system to enable display of the non-Roman subject terms. For example, we indexed mark field 6XX with second indicator 7. At that time, mark field second indicator 7 was not indexed. Even if we have a fast subject term, they were not showing and they were not searchable. So we have to index that field. We also have, we worked closely to do that with our IT, as well as Innovative, to get this field indexed. And we took the opportunity to review all of our mark tags and all of our indexing structure, and to configure all of these. So this step took a little bit longer than what expected. Second, we have to provide some training and instruction to our catalogers. So catalogers were giving a specific instruction on how to establish terms in respective languages. All catalog record must include fast subject as well as LCSH, because we did not get rid of LCSH, but we wanted to have both. So, and also would like to have to structure the non-Roman terms based on fast, not based on LCSH. When the term is taken from a subject thesaurus, use subfield 2 to indicate that the source of subject is specified. If the subject term is equivalent to fast term, the cataloger can link them together. and we'll say why we link them together. When the subject term is not found in the thesaurus, the catalogers assign a local subject term and indicates in the subject field in the bibliographic record that the term were created locally. And this is the form that we agreed upon with OCLC to add. Will be also a great opportunity for the future, so we can collect all of these locally assigned subject heading, and then we can convert them into authorized subject terms. Another instruction that catalogers were giving is we will be using OCLC to do that. The third step is we would like to, when we link, when we use subject term, we would like to have authorized subject term that based on open source, so we can have the URIs. So we identified 4 sources, and they all open sources, and they are all available in many on the web basically, and most of them are coming from the national libraries. We don't use any just thesaurus. We want to have authorized thesaurus, and as you see here, we have thesaurus in many languages, but we don't have one in Arabic yet. But we still using printed thesaurus that will be converted soon to be online thesaurus, and it will be available as open source, and that's my second big project. So let me walk you through example to see how this looks like. So basically, this is a bibliographic record in Arabic. So we assign subject heading in Arabic in LCSH, as you see here, and then we convert those into FAST, and then we find the equivalent in Arabic and we add it, and then we link them together. We link them together for reasons, because we would like to display both of them. Here is example of Arabic subject term that's not in it doesn't have equivalent in FAST. So we assign it, and we have subfield 2 indicated that this was assigned locally. This example is subject in Korean. And again, you see we assign the subject heading as normal using LCSH. And here you will see something different than the Arabic one. So we have the FAST subject term and the Korean subject term, and they are linked together. And if you see here, the subfield 2 local OCU, that's actually not true locally assigned subject heading, but because OCLC does not have the code for the National Library of Korean subject terms, so we cannot really use it. So right now, the National Library of Korean is requesting that to be added into the OCLC list of codes. But you can see the subfield 0 we added here. So each of these subject, the Arabic, the English and the Korean are linked to each other. Here's another one in Chinese. We have the same issue. So we have here the subject was assigned in using Library of Congress subject headings. And here, all of them are assigned using FAST and the subject heading coming from National Library of China. And here you can see subfield 2, and this is what I was talking about. That's the specified subject heading, like authorized subject headings. So that's really very good if you find your thesaurus an OCLC list, and they all link together. Here's another one in Japanese, and you can see the enrichment of subject headings here. So here again, we have the LCSH, and here we have the FAST subject heading, in addition to the Japanese subject headings. Now you're going to ask me, why you are showing me Spanish? Spanish is not non-Roman language, but I just cannot help to add that. Why is that? Because we were successful in achieving our goal to add the non-Roman language to our catalog and to be searchable. So, and I started to think about the Romance language, including the Spanish. So I started with the Spanish and I said, maybe we can do something with the Spanish. And indeed, it worked. So we have the Spanish subject heading with a sign bearer to the fast subject heading. And we use also open source thesaurus that's coming from National Library of Spain. So you can search them together. But notice that we cannot link them together because linking field is appropriate for non-Roman language, but it's not appropriate for Western language. So let's see how we can search them in the catalog. So now we know that we can do that in OCLC. So basically in our catalog, you can change your label to subject, and then you can put your subject headings or subject terms. I would not even call it heading, subject terms, and search and see what you're gonna get. So here, this is my subject, and I have 85 hits that have that terms. And again, you can see here the term in Arabic and where it is coming from. This is coming from a thesaurus. While if you look at number 5 here, it says local/OSCU, and this term was assigned locally, which is very different than this one. So just let's start with my term here. Just click on it, and then you're gonna get a bunch of records. Just select any records, and this is how the record is displayed in our OPAC. So we have here the subject that include only LCSH subject headings, and then our non-Roman and fast are indexed in other subject. And as you can see here, the fast subject heading is bearer to the Arabic, fast bearer. And here you have, this is the term that I was using. So I have here Islamic law, and then I see al-Fiqh al-Islami, which is the Arabic equivalent to that. Now, all of these are linkable. So if I click on this in Arabic, I will get only Arabic books or any materials that has that subject. But if I click on Islamic law, I will have everything in the catalog, including any languages that has that term Islamic law that as a subject headings. So the difference here that I'm actually having here just Arabic, and here I have everything. And that's the reason why I want to use fast to link it to Arabic. Why is that? Because I don't want to segregate or separate the Arabic collection from the overall collection. Maybe some other people will want to see the whole collection, not just the Arabic. Here is the example of the Spanish, and I said we don't do the linking field here, but they are display parallel. You know, you have the English parallel to the Spanish all over. And again, look at the enrichment of the bibliographic record by subject. My objective one was achieved by having record display by multilingual. So let's look at sharing worldwide. So since we do everything in OCLC, so now you can search our records from OCLC. And how you search them? Very simple. You can go to you search them in connection. This is a very big difference. You're not searching them in WordCat discovery. So in connection, you can just go to catalog, select the search, and choose WordCat. And you can have here just put our symbol OCU, and then put the term in Arabic. Of course, you will have to change the label here. And what you're gonna get? You're gonna get everything in OCLC that include the subject term in Arabic that I indicated in my search. So let's select one of those. I'm gonna select the number 15. And indeed, this is the bibliographic record. And here we go. I have the term that I had in English, in Arabic, and it says this is coming from this source, and it is linked to the Islamic law, that fast record that's coming from the fastest source. Here is an example of Chinese record. Again, I want to qualify it by OCU. And this word, I know what it means. It's China literature, but I cheated on that. So I got it from other place. But here it is, and I will search it. And I have here many records that have Chinese literature. And I'm going to select the number 14. And here it is my term. So I have 6050, second indicator 7. This is the Chinese term. This coming from this source and have its own URI. And it is linked to Chinese literature that's coming from FAST. So my third objective was ability to link to external resources via URI using mark 6XX subfield 0. Again, we wanted to plan for converting our record to link data. So that's basically going to give me very big opportunity to at least convert our record to add the subfield 0 in them. And what is the opportunity here? Again, going back to RDA. As we know, RDA is reconfigured to, it was based on Farber, but now is going to be based on library reference model. It's still not available right now, but it's going to be based on that high model, high level models, and the high middle level models, which we try to find a way of how can we do link data through RDA. Again, I found a statement in the LARM, and it says here that an attribute can be represented as URI pointing to an external source. That's give me a big opportunity to have real link to external sources. And how did we do that? Basically, here you have the record before adding the link data. And here is the record that includes all the link data. So you have here the author name. It's added subfield 0 to link to the authority file. And this is very interesting because it doesn't link only to non-Roman language, not at all. It links to everything that we want to link to. Like you have 336 content type, media type, carrier type. It goes back to this document and link to it for more information for our users. Subject headings, it links to subject heading, to LC subject heading. It can link to FAST. So variety of things here can be linked automatically to our bibliographic records. So people will link on them and get more resources. Here is another thing. And in Arabic is not very good example because of we don't have a source yet. But as you see here, you have here link to the library, to the FAST subject term, but the Arabic doesn't have link. So all of the FAST terms are linked to the property. Okay, here is something that worth to mention. If you see here FAST, it has this kind of URI subfield 0, which is really not clickable. But when you convert them to link data, it will give you the real URI that you can click and link to the document. That's a very good example here, Korean records. Why is that? Because we use open source thesaurus, so we're going to capture all the URIs from everywhere. So here you have the 100 field is captured from the authority file. It captured here also from the authority file plus VIAF, and you have the 336 and 37 and 8, and also you have the 650. That was captured from the LCSH authority file. And then here you find them coming from the open source from the National Library of Korea. So you have the property here, the subfield is 0. You can click on that and you can get to the National Library of Korea. So objective 4, future. User ability not only to link to external sources, but also to get different language, subject in different languages. That will expand their search strategy. And here is an example. Again, I'm using Korean record. So if we wanted to click on this subfield 0, what we're gonna get? Is going to link to LC data content type. And you can see here what it is. You can see the property. You can see a variety of things. What about 650, which is the subject is Library of Congress subject heading. So if I click on that, what am I going to get? I'm going to get Library of Congress subject heading link data. And that will expand the user's strategy for searching. It can provide broader term, narrow term, usage, variety of things. So this is really going to help our user to find more terms, more subject, related term. So that's going to be very important to user. Okay, let me go back to my record. Here it is another one, the genre 655, where we selected from the thesaurus from the National Library of Korea, and it has also properties. So if I click on that, what am I going to get? I'm going to get to National Library of Korea thesaurus. And any of these, you click on any of these, you're going to get bibliographic records. Back to our records. And what about the criticism and interpretation? I have two properties here. I want to know more about this. So I can just like click on the URI. And here it is, fast link data. And it gives you a lot of things about that term, criticism and interpretations. Let's look at Chinese record, because that's very kind of very interesting. You have here these terms, and it has this property. So for linking, for linking to National Library of China, so you click on that, and what you're gonna get? You're going to get to Chinese link data. Here is the term that I searched under. And by the way, you can search any other term here. And this is just like short list of all the item under this title, under this subject. So you click in any of these, so you're going to get materials. How that will be useful for us and for users? It's going to be useful for librarian as well. Why is that? For collection development. So say, for example, that user have the ability to link on the URI for National Library of Korea and find items that's not in our catalog. Probably we can get that. We can buy it. Maybe the user will be linking to National Library of Korea, an open source document or online resources that's available for everybody. So we'll get that as well. So it is good for users as well as for a librarian. From librarian point of view, we can enhance our collection by looking at this and select from it for our users. And for users, when they have the ability to click on the subfield 0, then they will link to more information that could be also available online. So let's look at some remark here. Did we achieve the 4 objectives? I would say yes, we achieved 2 of them. The first one is we have user ability to search the library catalog by subject terms in their preferred language. So no more translation, no more transliteration. We also achieved objective 2, which sharing worldwide. So we add everything in OCLC. So the possibility to create a non-Roman subject authority center, that's becoming a big issue. So can we do that? The possibility of developing resource sharing and cooperation on a global scale, maybe we can do that. And if we do that, so we will need to establish procedures for creating standards for non-Roman subject headings. So what is the next step? The next step is planning to add non-Roman subject heading for legacy records, and we already started that a year ago. So we are actually trying to work backwards. So the catalogers going year by year and create like a Boolean and try to convert them to convert the subject heading to fast and add the subject terms in other languages. So the next step is to add other languages such as Slavic, German, and French. As I said, we started with some of the Romance language with Spanish. Now it is time to think about other language. One more important issue here is all of this link data do not display in our catalog. Unfortunately, you cannot get access to external sources except from OCLC connection. So now OSU has to think about how to display the external link, which is subfield 0, in the local online catalog. That's a big issue. So we are very successful to add them in OCLC connection, and they are there. But unfortunately, our users do not have access to OCLC connection. So we need to find a way to add the subfield 0 and make it displayable in our online catalog. Future, maybe we need also to think about linking the non-Roman subject heading to LCSH or FAST through the authority record. I can see that there is a possibility to do that, and it will be really very important if we even think about FAST, and like when we think about VIAF. So FAST terms could include multiple scripts. I just played with one record from the authority file, and we have here Arabic Spring. And what is the problem if we add the Arabic Spring in variety of other language? I added in Arabic, Chinese, Korean, and multiple. Of course, I did not save that record. And I call it Virtual International Subject Authority File. Maybe OCLC will be objecting to that, but this is what came to my mind. I'm just trying to parallel this to VIAF. Here are some records for you to look at them. And as I said, you can you can search the catalog, but just qualify it by OSU and you will get all of our records. And thank you very much, and I'm ready for your questions.
Great, thank you, Magda. That was a very informational talk. We already have some questions, and I encourage all of you to submit additional questions and comments using the question box. Okay, let's see here. So the first question is, who or which department decides which languages to use?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Basically, cataloging, the head of cataloging at that time, which is me, I decided I started with Arabic first, and then because, as I said, this is the language that I know, and I wanted to make sure that I understand everything before we generalize that to other language. So we started with Arabic, and then we were very successful, and then we had Korean, Chinese, and Japanese, and it worked fine. So basically, I was looking for non-Roman language, and my department has this kind of languages, except that we did not include some of the Slavics or others. Did I answer your questions?
Yes, you did. Okay, so I've got a few more that are coming in about linking fast headings in OCLC. I'm going to try to combine these two. So the first one, is it okay to link fast headings which are in Roman script to non-Roman script fields? Per PCC guidelines for creating bib records in multiple scripts, parallel fields should contain an equivalent term in native script, and English fast doesn't translate to Arabic terms in Arabic script.
Okay.
And then there's a similar question. I think I should ask that one first while you're thinking of that one. And then it seems that you are using the linking functionality in OCLC in a different way than intended, since the Roman term is not a transliteration of the non-Roman term. Was this sanctioned by OCLC? So kind of similar questions there.
Okay, so because fast, as I said, is symbol, and it's not like has the dash and subfields and all of this stuff. It's just like one term. So it was easy for us to link them together. And the reason why we link them together because of the display issues. So if we don't link them together, we might not be able to display the both of them. So that was the intention.
And I guess the follow-up to that was this, did you communicate with OCLC while you were doing this? Or?
Absolutely. I invited Cynthia Whitaker at that time to show her, to just like give her a little demo, and actually we were working with her on if we don't find the term, what should we do in the thesaurus. So we agreed on the OCU/local, something like that. Okay. So, and I gave a presentation to OCLC Office of Research last summer in July, and I showed them exactly some of those slides. So yes.
Great. Let's see here. We've got a bunch coming in right now.
Oh,
taking it. So another question that's kind of following on that was, why would you want to display the subfield 0 in the ILS if it's just going to link you to another authority record?
Not all of them actually like link to authority records. So okay, well, let's back up a little bit. Okay. So if I have a term in Chinese, right? Right. Okay. So the term I selected in Chinese and I added into the record. So it is plain. It's plain. It doesn't really link to anything. So it is not like control heading like what we have in OCLC. right? So if we have control heading, we can click on the foreign language terms, and we can link to the authority heading in National Library of China, for example. But we don't have that capability right now. We don't have control heading for non-Roman language. That's the reason why we add subfield zeros to link to the subject in National Library of Korea or China or Japan. So that's the whole problem, is those subject terms that we have, when you add them into OCLC, they are just don't have link. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We're getting a bunch of more questions in. We've got time for just a couple more. Would you be willing to take some of these questions offline?
Absolutely.
Great. So another one that's in is how much of this process has been automated, or is it multiple catalogers adding multiple subject headings on a record per record basis?
Excellent questions, which I did not add these slides because I want to have people to ask this question. You can actually automate a lot of these. For example, first you cannot automate adding the subject term. You have to do that manually. But for link data, for adding subfield 0, we use mark edit. So that process would take probably 5 minutes. So catalogers can catalog as normal using OCLC, and then save the record in the local save file, and then use mark edit to harvest all of their production for 1 day, and then put them in mark edit, and then have link data. There is a feature in OCL in mark edit called link data, so you can click on that, and then you will get all of the records that were linked to external sources. But you have to specify what do you want to link to. So I worked with Terry Rees, our digital initiative librarians, and we configured that to where you wanted to link them. I want to link to VIAF, I want to link to FAST, I want to link to LCSH, to 3336, and anything that has open source, we can link to that. So all of these are automated, so it takes about maybe 5 minutes. So once you run mark edit, it will give you all the links, you save these records, you go back to your connection, and you batch load them. Does that make sense? It takes about exactly 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. So I think we've got time for one more question. Let me see if I can find a short one. Who is maintaining the list of terms that are not in an established thesaurus?
We don't need to maintain them because they are already in our record, and as I mentioned, that we can harvest all of them because we have the code for them. So at some point we can run a Boolean in our system and can say, give me everything that has subfield to OCU local. So we're going to gather all of them, and we can turn those to true subject terms, and we can submit them wherever we want. So if we have locally assigned subject term for National Library of Korea, maybe we can submit that to National Library of Korea to add it. That's when I called about global collaboration, so they can add the term because I need their URI, right? So it's better for them to add it in their National Library thesaurus than for me to create another subset of thesaurus. So that's what I mentioned. That's what I meant about collaboration on a global scale. So we can actually send them those. Send them all of this locally assigned subject heading that we could not find them in their thesaurus, and then they can add them into their thesaurus.
Great, thanks. We do have a number of more questions, so I'll be sending those to you to answer offline, and we'll send them out to all the participants.
Thank you.
So we're glad you could be with us today, and you will soon receive a short online evaluation form. Please take a few minutes to respond to these questions. Your comments are very valuable, and they help the ALCTS Continuing Education Committee plan future events. Thanks to Catherine Balick and Joseph Nicholson of the ALCTS Continuing Education Committee and to Jaslee Cooley of the ALCTS Office for technical support. The support they provide makes it possible for us to present these webinars smoothly. We have one more webinar coming up in the From Mark to BibFrame series. The next one is May 2nd's Linked Data Description for Cartographic Resources. We also offer web courses, which are 4 to 6 weeks long, and e-forums, which are 2-day-long email discussions. You'll find more information on the ALCTS website. We hope you'll participate in other ALCTS continuing education offerings again in the future. This concludes our session. Thank you for joining us.